What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Advantage Player Workshop. Big day today. We got our 10-foot craps layout. We are still in construction, of course, but we wanted to go ahead and give a status update, see what everybody thought. Hope you like our design. Worked pretty hard at getting all this the way we like it. Oh yeah, you know what we're about over here. There is our website right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is, it's a 10-foot layout. We're just using some crude sidewalls made out of 2x10s at the moment. So obviously we have a long way to go, but we wanted to give it a dry run and kind of dry fit it together to see the playability before we start, you know, completing it, putting it all together. And so honestly, I wish I had added more layers immediately. It's currently got 2 layers of the black, 1 layer black vinyl and then 1 layer of the Max cloth. Big shout out to Casino Supply. They helped us, well, we bought it, but they provided the cloth. So they have 3 types of cloth over there. They have the Pro cloth, which is the cheaper felt. You know, it does feel kind of cheap. And then they have the Speed cloth, which is their card table, you know, poker table type cloth. Cards slide across real easy. And then they have their top of the line Max cloth, which if you can see the 2 side by side, they are quite different. This one is quite a bit thicker and denser. It's also got a little bit of a, you know, it's got a pattern printed on it, little paisley type look or something. And so yeah, we are super stoked. We got 2x10s. Our sidewalls are 9 inches high, and we've got 2 ends. Obviously, we've got the black alligator on one end, and then we got the green from the previous. I had 2 left, one for my practice rig. That'll be at the other end. So I haven't put that on there yet. I needed to test out the surface and see what that was going to be like, and obviously, I have a lot more work to do because it is far too firm. But the best part about the whole table is, you know, what we're all about right here. Oh yeah. So I'm absolutely loving the way it looks. I want to give a big shout out to anybody everybody who helped us and made a little donation. Super big thanks to Jesse. He sent us a nice big boost to help us pay for the craps layout. Obviously, there's more that went into it. And our members and anybody who zelled us a buck or 2, we appreciate that. Thank you for the support. We'll continue to add. As soon as we get some of our printing and embroidery stuff back with our logos on it, we'll be sending it out to those who helped us along the way. And so I appreciate all the new subscribers. We're at, the last time I checked, we were right around 3,800 or something. So pretty blown away by that. Pretty awesome. Of course, we'll be making constant improvements. So this is going to have to all come back off. I'm going to have to peel the surface off. It's just way too firm, or you know, it's not bouncy enough. It's just too easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. But we're going to be doing something like this. You know, we saw a really cool table setup. Tesla Tales from Brian. He had a nice, interesting kind of a hybrid type table. He had chip rails at one end and then a bit taller sidewalls on the other. So, you know, this is a similar style that we've seen, like Bone Thrower. He's not as active anymore, but he was, I think, one of the originators of this type of stuff. And kind of a similar look to Waylon's Way, I guess. And then Ed's got a similar type build. That's kind of what we will ultimately end up fairly similar to. But obviously, we got our own layout with our own, you know, logos and stuff, so that's pretty cool for us. And we're going to be adding some chip rails. We'll probably go ahead and get the actual rails that hold the chips for the other end and then do something similar. Not MDF. We got a couple of pine boards, but we can make some corners on them. We'll put the LEDs up underneath, so we'll have nice lighting all around. But just to give you guys a quick update as far as the surface and the playability, let me go ahead and throw a few. How funny thing was, so this is a 10-foot table. So if I'm standing at the end, it's pretty much like throwing from stick left 1 or 2, and then obviously it would be the same if I was shooting the other way. But we don't have that finished yet, so let's go ahead and give it a couple of throws and see what that, so you can see what the difference is. And again, 2 layers, black vinyl underneath, and the guess what? You know what time it is, 6:05, yo. So as you can tell, significantly louder, right? And yeah, it's just too easy almost. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, but again, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Every surface is a little bit different. You can beat any surface. You just have to do, you know, you have to approach it differently. Trying to get them to where you can see the dice without the light, messing with them. Yeah, not really working out that great. Oh well, we'll continue to make improvements on our on everything, as we always do. Our setup, our throw, our game, our channel, everything. Just trying to, oh, wait a minute, too strong. Hard 10. Just try to get a little bit better every day. I think it's a Japanese philosophy, Kaizen. Just get a little bit better every day. 1% better. Yeah, these are a little sloppy, I will admit, but just want to give you guys a quick preview. And so my table here is made of 3/4 inch MDF. I know most people call for plywood. I'm not a huge fan of plywood. MDF is nothing more than sawdust and glue. It's really one of the most dense sheet goods there are. And so I think that's also a little bit of a contributor to the sound, why it's a much more louder smack than it is of plywood. The costs are pretty much the same. I don't really know. They just had plenty of this available. And to save myself some trouble, I just got 5 sheets of 2 foot by 4 foot pieces of MDF, and I put them on 2 10-foot 2x4s and then screwed them down, made sure they were pretty level. I wasn't concerned about having one long or 2 continuous pieces. It's not a pool table, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, level, and without any seams. And by the time you add several layers on it, it's not gonna, you're not even gonna notice. And I liked buying them in sections because it's easier to take it down and transport, and I didn't have to do any cutting. So I just had a few extra bucks to spend. Had to spend a few extra bucks to kill shots, to have it all pre-cut. I just bought them that way. And so the sidewalls again are 2x10s. I cut 1 inch off of them more or less. And my end down here from my main throwing area is probably going to be a little bit shorter because I'm going to add the chip rack to it. And so my table surface height is 31 inches. And after the chip rack, man, I'm getting my steps in, having to walk around the table. I'm not used to this. I guess I'm going to need a stick, huh? But big thanks to everybody who's been along with us, all our subscribers. We're really enjoying watching our subscriber base grow. Oh, that was crap. Our subscriber base grow and our views, and this is really a labor of love. This is not something that you're making a lot of money off of, if any, really. And when you consider the amount of time that you're probably putting into this for this particular type of channel, it's not exactly a money maker, or at least not for me anyway. At this stage, I don't even know that these niches like this make any money, but that's not really why we did it. We definitely want to have other channels that might produce a few bucks, but we just wanted to learn YouTube while doing something that we enjoyed, which was clearly craps. And obviously nobody would go this far if you didn't enjoy it. But we also want to improve and want to get better. And, we want to master every possible thing we can master. And I always fought getting a full-size craps table again just because of the amount of real estate it takes up. But now that we've got some traction in our channel and everybody's been super supportive, and all the people that have emailed and sent their own, that was like a couple of knuckleballs. I think we can certainly justify the real estate. The build wasn't very much, thanks to our donations and everybody that's pitched in, mostly Jesse. But Scott too. Scott Johnson, the Craps Bandit, he's a new member, so that every little bit helps, If you want to support us anyway and help us to grow our channel, you can always send us a super thanks or whatever you like. That's not what we're here for, but it's all appreciated. And if anybody wants any of these items that you see as far as the layout, the logos, we'll have stickers, just whatever you want. We're going to basically put that logo on just about as much as we can think of. And but we'll have others. Ooh, kill shots. But we're having a lot of fun. That is our web address. It's not up just yet. Nice spinner. You know, so obviously we need to add another layer. So of course we're going to go back down to Hobby Lobby as soon as I turn the camera off, pull this surface back off and keep the construction underway. But we wanted to make sure we were happy with the way it played first, and we just weren't really sure. You never know until you know, you know? I mean, that's just the way it goes. We got, if I didn't mention it already, we got the green alligator grid for one end and the black for the other. That way, whenever we start moving ends, you can tell which end we're throwing from. Yeah, I mean, this is like child's play. This is so, I mean, you get dialed in on this table here, your arm will get tired before you 7 out. So let me see here. All right, we're gonna do the rocking chair here. Let's see if we can throw a hard way here in the first couple of tries. Ooh, I thought I got it. All right, let's see here. Well, I really appreciate everybody and their suggestions on the grid. There was a couple of good ones in there. There was a couple. They didn't come to me off the top of my head, but Scott had a good one. There was a few in there. I apologize if I forgot your name at the moment, but one of the first people that commented, his was pretty sweet too. I'll go back and look, but we'll give it a name if it doesn't already have one from somebody else. That should be it right there. Ah, boy, those things were like perfect coming out, flying down the table. Okay, that is 7. I'm missing like 5 pair of dice here. I don't know what happens to them. Please leave some comments. Tell me what you think about the layout, the logos, the color. It was between the black, red, and white logos, or the tan layout with black and white logos. And so as you've seen, I've got a few different options on the, oh, jeez. Oh, I can't talk and throw at the same time. I gotta breathe through my eyelids and there it is. That's one. Let's see here. All right, repeat that action. Repeat that action. Repeat that action. The sound of the smack was a little louder. It landed pretty flat. Okay. There's a hard 2. But again, thanks for everybody that's taken part. If you're still watching this, we appreciate it. A nice little spinning top. You know, this table, obviously, we need to make some improvements. Any table that is quite this firm was not, you know, not realistic. So, of course, we need to fix it. But this is not a real craps table. This is a temporary, you know, oh, thank God, that was awful. This is a temporary full-size rig that we can take up and down. No 2 tables will ever play the same. That's just how we approach it, right? We do not expect anything to be the same. Of course, we want to practice as close to the way that we're really going to play, but we don't walk into every situation thinking that there we go. All right, that's enough for this one, but let me finish that thought. You know, any comments and any whatever thoughts about, you know, these aren't the same conditions? Well, they don't need to be, and they will never be. And you should just expect your conditions to be different all the time. But the purpose of practicing is so that you can learn how to make different adjustments on different surfaces, because every surface you can have influence on. Some maybe more so than others. But I don't ever want to say that no surface is unbeatable. Well, for one, it's not. But number 2, you don't want to ever admit that you couldn't do it, even if you were convinced that you couldn't. I just think you can get there any way you want. It's just going to require time and patience and you know, trial and error to figure out what is going to work on what surface. And I truly do believe any surface can be beat. It's not a doubt in my mind. And so, because I've done it for years. I've just done it differently. But remember, all those conditions, they need to be lining up. You know what I mean? You got to be able to get the dice a lot. You got to be able to figure it out. You got to be able to have enough money to last the downswings whenever there are any. And so, and you know, if you can't get all those things right, well, guess what? You're just back to being a regular player at a regular game of craps, you know, giving up a couple of points. And that's just how you look at it. So nothing is ever definitive. It's not like blackjack, right, where you're guaranteed to have an advantage when the deck is full of tens. Dice control just doesn't work that way, right? It's all up to the user. Everybody is different, and even the same guy is different from day to day. And that's what takes practice, and you got to be able to learn how to make those adjustments. There we go. Hard 4. All right, anyway, I got to go, folks. See you on the next one. Let me know what you think. And anybody wants anything from the store or suggestions on what they'd like to see me add down the road, I will. And thanks. See you on the next one.